Hey, folks, this is Jim Horn with another episode of Travers Talks. And today we're going to be focusing on an agenda item that came up yesterday. And it's really an extremely important one, really affects the entire Grand Traverse County, Grand Traverse City, just about everything. And that is the organization or the start of a steering committee. And it's designed to look at South Airport Road corridor, really at Logan's Landing. You might remember that during the flood, I don't know if you could really forget that. During the flood, we had a real situation there. They had to shut the road down, double check it, and so forth and so on. So the Grand Traverse County Road Commission Chairman, Alan Lehman, he came to the board this week. That was June 30th. That was Wednesday, to ask for two commissioners to join a new steering committee, one focused entirely on the South Airport Road corridor at Logan's Landing. Here's what he's proposing. It's really narrow by design, one corridor, 1 year, and then it's done. And let's listen to how Alan framed it.
It's a steering committee that's going to take all the community groups we can find and take the input from people about possible solutions and needs first, and then move on to specific transportation solutions for the corridor. The Road Commission, of course, is concerned with transportation, but there's a lot of other community groups who are interested in making the corridor a better place. It's going to affect zoning commissions, zoning in Garfield Township. There's going to be a number of things that are going to come up with this. The steering committee I proposed, only exist for 1 year. This is not I don't want to create another unending government board that's going to work with this forever. We have a specific mission in mind, South Airport Corridor at Logan's Landing, and a specific timeline, 1 year. I'd like to have a proposal back to the community, to our individual boards, and ready, fully presented to the community for you in 1 year. There are other methods perhaps to get at this, but I feel this is going to be our only mission and going to be very direct. I've really been encouraged about the coordination between the three governmental entities based on what happened last week with a proposal that was introduced by the Michigan State Police. They took preliminary requests for some planning money under some FEMA guideline stuff. Your staff actually addressed this.
Okay, the FEMA story really matters here, folks. It's the first real proof of concept that these three entities can actually move fast together. Thank God. The 1 year deadline is also doing a lot of work here. It's structured specifically to prevent this from becoming the kind of perpetual study committee that tends to absorb problems without solving them. And that happens a lot in the government. Whether the timeline holds is a different question, but at least someone is trying to build accountability into this particular steering commission. Next up, Commissioner Andrews was the first really to push back, and she came prepared. She did her homework on the paper trail, as she usually does. The road commissioner's or commission's own asset plan, two county migration plans going back to 2015. Her question was essentially, why should we believe this is going to be any different? So let's listen to Commissioner Andrews.
Commissioner Andrews.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Lehman. I understand that the bridge is the South Airport Road crossing is one of the most traveled roads in our community. We all got a glimpse of what that looked like when it was out for a week. And it affects everybody, right? Because the spillover affects 8th Street and everywhere between here, there, and south and north and east and west. I guess my concern is, and I appreciate this is moving forward. It needs to move forward. But I guess one question is, what comfort do we have for the community? I've looked at the Road Commission's 2022 Asset Management Plan, which has a specific section on bridges, and this road was flagged from 2022 as a highlighted concern. The county's 2022 Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan flags South Airport Road crossing as the number one priority. for precisely the reason that half the community travels on that road. The 2022 Hazard Mitigation Plan references the 2015 Hazard Mitigation Plan. The number one priority in the 2015 Hazard Mitigation Plan was to improve the South Airport at Logan's Landing Crossing, so that it's 11 years that this has been a priority. What comfort do we have that this is not just going to become another study on a shelf or in a basement of some office somewhere? That's the history, right? That's the trajectory for this crossing.
I can tell you that I've only been board chair for 5 months, but I'm committed that we have a solution in a year. I can't speak to what different agencies who might have had plans in the past that didn't come to fruition and why, because I don't have enough history with it. But I can tell you, I'm committed to moving forward with it, and that's why I'm asking for your cooperation.
Well, I can appreciate the question and the concern, because the difference here I see is that it was flagged as an issue, but nothing was done about it. And this at least is like more progress than we've seen in 11 years of citing, like saying something needs to be done, but then actually starting the process. So I'm hopeful anyway.
As am I, and I like the time limit, because this is not to Commissioner, and what's your name again? Commissioner Andrews' point, that, it's a plan, and then it's got put on a shelf. There's a timeline here. They got a year. That's what we're going to do. So,
Do you think maybe it's because it was always a mix of fixes? I mean, it wasn't just South Airport that was being focused on. It was other projects to improve traffic flow. And so just my gut feeling was that South Airport Road and this need was able to kind of be put aside. Now I feel like there's a focus just on this. Like, this is the main focus. It's the main priority. There's nothing else getting in the way. And I know that you are determined to move forward with it, because you've had these drafts and these concepts and visuals that are illustrating the need. So I feel really good about this. Thank you, Commissioner Lehman, for moving this forward. And
Thank
I've
you.
got hope.
What do you envision? When would the committee meet, and who would call that meeting?
Okay, there you have some comments. First, obviously, Commissioner Andrews, then Commissioner Walter, then Commissioner Seifert, and finally, Commissioner Spence. Anyway, they all voice some satisfaction, and then hopefully this thing is going to go forward. Andrews was right on the documents. Those plans do exist, and this crossing has been flagged in really all of them. Lehman's honest answer was that he's only been the board chair 5 months. That, 5 months, obviously, that doesn't give you a lot of history. So he said he really couldn't explain the prior decade, but he's committed to a solution in a year, which is either refreshing candor or it's easy to sidestep accountability for the institution he now leads. We're going to have to see. The more useful response actually came from another commissioner, and that was Commissioner Walter, who noted that the difference this time isn't the plan, it's that somebody's really starting the process. Okay, next up, later in the discussion, Lehman got into the structural reasons why a crossing flag for 11 years never got fixed. His answer, funding constraints and a weak planning culture, is frank enough to be worth hearing in his own words. Here he goes.
The road commission is really limited by the money. We have a big task, and we have almost no control over our funding. What we have, you have endorsed our 1 mil millage that we ask for, and that's the only thing really the road commissioners control. So I think over the years, certain priorities have come and gone based on the immediate needs, and long-term planning has not been the road commission's strength for sure. I think that getting the community involved in the design and what we need out of the corridor are really important to us. I don't want to get to the end and find that we missed the boat. The community won't buy into this. The road.
There you have it. I like his comment about long-term planning has not been the road commission's strength. I like that. That's a remarkable thing for a sitting board chair to say on the record. And it goes a long way toward explaining how 11 years of plans went nowhere. The funding point is also real. Road commissions in Michigan are heavily dependent on state distributed gas tax and registration fee revenue with almost no local discretion over the pot. So the 1 mil county millage that Lehman mentions is genuinely one of the few levers they control. The economic well-being or framing is the stakes argument, and this whole episode is really about it's worth sitting with when the bridge goes out. It doesn't just inconvenience commuters, it exposes how thin the county's east-west redundancy actually is. Hey, folks, I'm Jim Horn. This is Travers Talks. Have yourself one great week. Take care.